This is so cool. We have people from all over the world. We're so excited for you to be here with us. Everyone, welcome to the second annual Travel Cat Summit. We are so excited you're here with us today. We know there are so many things you could be doing right now, including sleeping for a lot of you, depending on where you're tuning in from. But we promise you have made the right choice for what to be doing on this Sunday afternoon, evening, morning, depending on where you're tuning in from. So welcome. I am excited to introduce myself. My name is Emily Mithner, and I am the co-founder of Travel Cat. I co-founded Travel Cat with my husband just about 5 years ago, and we were inspired to start the company when we rescued a kitten on a whim named Andy. And it's a little dark and you probably can't see, but Andy is actually here with us. She is sleeping in the Meowable home right now on top of the boot coop in there. So she's here to be with us today. So when we became cat parents, unexpectedly, there was a couple of big reasons for starting the company. One is there was a lot of misconceptions that we were hearing about cats, like they're easy and they sleep all day. You don't need to do anything with them, right? I'm sure many of you have heard that too. And then also as entrepreneurs, we just found there really were not and still are not a lot of companies dedicated just to cats and cat people, not dog people first and cat second, right? And the products that were out there that we were finding were not high quality. So my husband and I started the company to create really high quality, fun, safe products that can help people go beyond the great indoors with their cats, whether because they want to or they need to help their cats get enrichment and stimulation that they need to live happy and healthy lives. And we're really proud of all the products that we've created over time. My office is filled with our current products and also a lot of new products that we have coming up. So that's just a little quick story about us. Next slide. So like I said, we would love now to hear more about you. So please introduce yourselves in the chat if you haven't already. And also just a fun tip about Zoom. If you're sharing your Instagram, share the HTTP Instagram.com part, because then we can easily all click out and connect with you. Next slide. So why be a travel cat? There are a lot of people here, and I'm sure you all have different reasons, but one of the best reasons to become a travel cat is for stimulation and enrichment for your cat. Taking your cat safely outside on a harness and a backpack is a really great way to provide that stimulation and enrichment that your cats need to get their energy out. But you also might be here because of necessary travel. Maybe you have a move coming up or a road trip, or you're visiting family, or you're moving across country. And so we're here to help make any sort of travel you might need to do, including just going to the vet, less stressful. And then the third reason is emergencies. Nobody likes to think about it, but if you have to get your cat out of your house quickly, it's a good idea to have them used to being taken out quickly. So the thing that is so cool about the Travel Cat community is all the incredible people from all over the world, as you can see, who are from all different types of backgrounds and live in all different types of places, doing more with their cats. And that's really what it comes down to, doing more with their cats. And we have been so honored and thrilled to be a small part of your journeys by providing the products that you need, the best products to go outside with your cat, and also to provide the community and the education and the resources to make sure that you take your cats out in the right way and in a responsible way. Next slide. So before we dive into all the different topics we're going to hear about today, and there are many of them, I do just want to start with the very, very basics that everyone should be thinking about, regardless of how or why you're taking your cat outside of your house. Safety first. So number one is get your cats microchipped. That's an internal thing that's put in by a vet that has your information, so that if your cat is ever lost and someone finds the cat and brings it to a vet, that vet can scan to see if there's a microchip and find your information. So be sure your cats are microchipped and be sure that the information is updated. And whenever you go to the vet, you can ask your cat or ask your vet to do a check to make sure that all the information is still there and it's still working. Number two is that external side of things, right? So make sure you have an ID tag on your cat's collar, on the harness, maybe both. One exciting thing is Travel Cat will be coming out with customizable ID tags soon. So you'll be able to get those from us. We're definitely going to have some great promos coming up, like free ID tag when you make purchases. So stay tuned for that. And make sure you have that ID tag somewhere safe. Another step you might want to take is to put some sort of device to track your cat. So there's two main options people think about, a GPS and a Apple AirTag. And so I do like to just clarify the differences for people who might not be aware. The Apple AirTag is only going to work if there are other Apple devices nearby. So if you're taking your cat out, for instance, in an urban center in a city where, you know, everyone has iPads and iPhones and devices, that can be an okay option. But that sort of device is not really going to do you any good if you're, say, in a national park or somewhere where there's not going to be devices or Apple devices nearby. And that's when a GPS will work much better and can work anywhere, right? No matter where you are versus an AirTag. So those are something you might consider. And then the other two things, vaccines, make sure all the vaccines are up to date. And of course, you want to make sure you have flea and tick medication on your cats as well. And the final thing, super, super important, again, regardless of what stage you're at, where you're going, when you're taking your cats out, you need to be present. You need to be focused on them, paying attention to them, paying attention to your environment, because if you're not present, that's when things, bad things could potentially happen. Whereas if you are paying attention, even if something unfortunate happens or unexpected happens, you should be able to respond to it quickly. And of course, there's always going to be risks with taking your cats out, but there's also a lot of rewards. So it's up to you to decide, if that reward is worth it, and learn that with your cat through taking your cat out in small and baby steps, which we'll talk about all today. But remember, there's always risks. So you do want to be present so you can respond to anything that might come up and just make sure that your cat is doing okay. Next slide. All right, and so just some goodies. If you haven't seen or heard, we have a free tote bag that's special and exclusive for this event. So every year when we do this event, we're going to come out with a new tote bag design so you can collect them all. And so this is a free tote you can get with any purchase, and it has a bunch of freebies from us and our event partners, and it also has some free goodies from our partners as well. We only have less than 100 of these left. So if you didn't get one yet and you want one, we highly, highly recommend you get it like ASAP, because we definitely expect to sell out of them this year quicker than we did last year. Really cute picture. I saw that picture on Instagram Sarah shared of her cat in the bag. The tote says cat's out of the bag and her cat is in the bag. We also have a special promo just for people who RSVP'd, which is $20 off any purchase over $49 and 25% off Travel Cat apparel, which you'll see many of the speakers rocking different Travel Cat apparel. This is my Travel Cat crop top here. So you can also find those codes on our promo page. And we also created discounted bundles just for this event. So you can get the $20 off our already discounted bundles, super good deals. So make sure to check out that link. And again, you can get that tote bag with any purchase while they last, and there's less than 100. And I do want to shout out some of our newest products, two of which we're launching at this event. And I'm going to grab my two fake cats here, or I have three fake cats. But we just launched for this event our newest harness color. It's the lavender harness. It is so beautiful, so dainty, and it's the most like customization of any harness we've done. It even has purple like plastic adjusters and everything. So it's super cute. So that just launched and is available now. And then we also, because our most popular limited edition harness of all time is the 90s harness, the 90s cat, we have now the 90s bandana and leash sets. So those are our two newest products, so check them out. Very popular, very excited about those. And then also We launched for the first time our transporter actually last year at our summit, and this year it's updated and it has a new colorway. So this is our newest version of the transporter. It's got a few small tweaks to it from the first one, but the same great functionality of being able to slide your cat in and out super easily. It's our ultimate calming carrier. So if you have to go on flights, car travel, or your cat hates the vet, anything like that, it's a really great carrier. You can carry it 4 different ways. So check this one out as well. And then we have our H-style harness, which we've been really excited about. I designed this harness with the intention to make it the absolute best H-style harness out there. It is the only one out there where the middle part adjusts in addition to the neck and the belly part. So I'm sure you'll hear some of the speakers talk about, different types of harnesses, why you might want to try one versus the other. But ultimately, our goal is to have every type of product. So no matter what you or your cat wants or likes when it comes to travel gear, you can get it from us. So very excited about all those products. So those are all available now for you. Next slide. And finally, just a shout out to our partners. We can give a virtual round of applause to our partners. We have some amazing companies that partnered with us to give you awesome discounts to help spread the word, promos, gifts in our speaker tote bag. Like we mentioned, there aren't a lot of companies out there dedicated just to cats, and these are some of them. We're making really amazing cat products. We love them, and we thank them for all of their support. So give them a shout and support them. Next slide. All right, so what to expect? So the intro is almost over, and we're going to do some group Zoomies while we're still in the main room, and then we're going to bring out Jackson Galaxy and have some tips from him, which we're so excited about. We've been collaborating with Jackson since almost the start of our company when we worked with him to develop the Jackson Galaxy convertible cat backpack. So we're super excited to have him share some words. And then there are going to be breakout sessions that you can choose from, during which every single session there will be a prize given out at the end. So the more you attend, the more likely you are to win a prize. And then at the end of the day, we're going to close right back here. So this is the main room. There's sessions happening here all throughout the day, but everybody's going to come back to this main room for the DIY cat toy making session, which, by the way, grab toilet paper rolls or paper towel tubes. That's what we're going to use for the DIY cat toy session. And then we'll also close with some more prizes at the very end of the event and bring up some attendees to share some of their favorite takeaways. So that is the overview of today. So with that, I'm very excited to bring up or to welcome Jackson Galaxy. He is star of My Cat from Hell for over 10 years on Animal Planet. Just curious, put in the chat if you've seen an episode of My Cat from Hell, or put in the chat if you have searched for something on YouTube that you were having an issue with your cat and you found a Jackson Galaxy video, right? He is an amazing, incredible resource for the cat community. And he's going to share some of his tips to kick us off, just to share how you can be the best cat parent that you can be. So I'm going to stop talking so he can come so we can share words from Jackson Galaxy.
Action. Hey, what's up, Travel Cat Summit people and cats? I know the cats are watching too, so welcome to you guys. Welcome everybody. And I am here, of course, I'm Jackson Galaxy, and I'm here to talk about the best life for your cat from my perspective. And obviously, if you're here, you're all about the best life for your cat. But I want to give you some specifics based on what I know, and to really just muscle through it pretty fast, because there's a lot we could talk about for days when it comes to our cats. But in terms of their best life, I think the thing that is really important for us to remember is that the best life is remembering what is a cat. I know that sounds really almost insulting to you guys, especially, but it's the point I'm trying to make is that if you think about who the raw cat is, first and foremost, you're going to be okay. Who is the raw cat? The raw cat is the ancestor. The raw cat is the cat who is roaming the Fertile Crescent hundreds of thousands, if not a million years ago, and before they ever came in contact with humans. And and became part of our journey, they were still the same animal for the most part, which is crazy when you start to think about it. We haven't really gotten into the world of selective breeding and just breeding for looks or whatever until, you know, the latter part really of the 20th century. So that's a drop in the bucket. In reality, your cat has this direct phone line to that cat, that ancestor, and everything that your cat wakes up in the morning wanting to do is the same thing that drove our raw cats. So to that end, what is it that we can do to appease the raw cat and in that way make our cats happy? Now, the first thing is play. Play is a really, really important part of any cat's day. And I'm not necessarily talking about what you would think of with, you know, those slow motion pirouettes in the air and just running around the house like a banshee for a half hour. That works for kittens. That works for teenagers. It doesn't, you know, once you get to be 3, 4, or 5 years old, not as much. Because if you think about how the raw cat plays, and I know they're kind of masochists in a way, they play with their food, but they will hunt, they will stalk, they will pounce, and they will then eat if they catch. If they don't catch, they go back to the stalking and they start all over again. So it's really, your cat is built for speed and not distance. And play really has to play into that. Second thing I will always tell people is that you gotta play the role. You gotta be a bird. You gotta be a worm. You gotta be a grasshopper. You gotta be a bug of some sort. You gotta be something, which then stops you from doing the thing that might make me crazier than anything. Although you get an A for effort just for playing, but it's holding up the toy and just doing this, just waving it in the air. Or, you know, you get frustrated and you start bonking your cat on the head with it, or like you just rub it in their belly, or you try to get them to do anything to go for it, and then they swat and you go, oh, okay, Chester's playing. Prey moves away. Remember that. Prey is always moving away from your cat. Cats have it built into them to catch the sight of something moving at an irregular pace in an irregular direction, and maybe it stops, and maybe it starts, and maybe it starts to disappear, that kind of thing. It's the raw cat will tell you. What is that? The raw cat will tell you that it's just instinct. They will do it. Now, does it take some time with some cats to just get the engine going? Sure, of course it does. I make that differentiation between a cat who's like a Lamborghini and a cat who's like a Model T. With the Lamborghini, you just go in there, press the button, boom, you're going. If it's a Model T, you might have to crank a little bit and just wait. And that's fine. I'm not saying anything bad about the Model T or anything brilliant about the Lamborghini. They're all the same. It's just how your cat will play. Yes, certain cats will go for air prey, meaning birds and whatnot. So you'll want to wave it around and get it into places where they then have to climb up to get it. Or they're ground prey, or they're just omniprey. They'll just go after anything. That's for you to find out. And it's really important that you find out, because it really should happen as an exercise with you and your cat every day. I'm not saying, I am saying that we're talking about interactive play. I think it's great that you have little stuffed mice around the house. That's great. Your cat will bat it around a few times. It'll go under the fridge. That's the end of it. I love the fact that you got those ones that you press the button and lasers light up and whatever. Again, great for the moment, but nothing substitutes what you can do in the prey play cycle, and you should do it every day. Now, for those of you who are here at the summit, you're already doing something that no matter how much play we do, there's that extra oomph that taking your cat for walks, if that's what they want, if it's something they've expressed an interest in, to go out and just walk around in nature and experience maybe bugs along the way or birds along the way, overcome obstacles, solve problems. There is the human cat bonding experience that comes from taking them for walks or adventures of any kind. And I'm not saying that should substitute for play, but it's a real wonderful bonus. So that's play. The second thing is what I call catification. That's environmental enrichment. Think about how cats operate in the world. They operate walking into a room, looking at the floor, looking at the ceiling and trying to figure out how they can get into every spot along the way. Cats own the entire volume of territory, where humans, we walk into a room and we just sit down. And now I'm looking at you. I mean, I have no reason to look up there because I know I can't get there. Why would I want to look at my ceiling? But the cat looks at it because they go, that might be an amazing vantage point for me to be a hunter, or to me to assess my territory, for me to access my raw cat and get to be my most confident, most mojo-fied self, because I am in that place in the vertical world I was meant to be. So your job as their guardian is to just lay it out everywhere from floor to close to the ceiling, and figure out where it is that their body language goes from just maybe sometimes being like this. I'm sitting here, I'm like, my paws are tucked under here and I'm looking at the world. And then they sit at a certain place somewhere on that vertical axis and they're like, chest out, ears neutral, nothing is here to bother me. That is what we look for in our cats. We bring out their mojo by doing environmental enrichment. The other thing that's great about it is that then increases the space in terms of their perception. So if you have multiple cats, if you have cats and dogs and kids, cats and dogs and kids and multiple grown-ups too, and everybody is competing for the floor, then you got a problem. This way, by having a lot of vertical world for the cats, they own the sky, they can survey, they can just make sure they've got everything mapped out the way they need to. And you can use things like toys to guide them around. It's almost like a vertical obstacle course or agility course. You can get them up into those areas, get them to explore confidently. You can use clicker training to get them up in those spaces as well. It's a no lose, and it's something that I think is just a given, that is something that you should be doing. And then finally, in terms of their best life, I go nutrition. I think nutrition is really important. I think feeding your cats in a routine way. I am not a big fan of free feeding our cats, even though you might say, well, Jackson, they are scavengers, they are opportunistic. Sure, that's true. But they also live with us. And if you ever want your cat to do something for you, and you think they're going to do it out of a sense of like obligation or love or anything like that, you are sorely mistaken. And what, did you just get your cat yesterday? Did you just adopt a cat for the first time yesterday and you just had dogs all these years? Well, I'm kidding. Anyway, the idea is that if they're food motivated, it makes things a whole lot easier. Plus, in terms of the social experience in your home, the more you can get all cats eating at the same time and getting cats to eat with humans at the same time, eating is one of the main social experiences that anyone can experience in a day in their home. It is when we get together. And I think having the cats come together like that is really empowering. Cats are not as independent as most would think. They're not as aloof as most would think. They are firmly rooted in a sense of society, in a sense of group belonging. And the way to do that is through rituals like food, catification, getting their scent into things, playing together. Now, again, I think play is something that everybody should do, but there is a difference between playing to poop someone out and playing as a social experience. Because you guys know, if you got multiple cats, there's always one cat during a play session who's like, yeah, I got this, don't worry about it. And another cat's like, okay, you got it, it's fine. And somebody doesn't get to play. Separating them out for play is a great thing for exercise. Keeping them together for play is also a great exercise to sort of, buttress the idea of social, of a group. So those are the three things. To me, play, environmental enrichment, and nutrition, and sort of in a way of, binding all three of those together is what I call the 3 R's: routine, ritual, rhythm. That every day, if tightly connected by a series of rituals, makes cats more secure, more mojo-fied. They get a sense of confidence and security by the repetition of experiences day in and day out, which is why you probably notice that your cats will seek out certain windows every day because they follow the sun as the sun goes around your house. And so having catification around those windows is a really good idea. But by and large, whether it's, communing with their humans or their other feline family members, whether it's just a sense of confidence because of stability in repetition of rituals, it all gets your cat feeling their best. And again, I know I'm preaching to the choir. I know that you guys take your cats for adventures. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here at the summit. I think that you've done amazing things for your cats by showing them the world and doing it in an incredibly safe and responsible way, not just for them, but for the wildlife that we share our world with. So again, thank you for being you. Thank you for being people who care so much about their cats. Welcome to the summit. Hey, don't forget that I've got some Jackson Galaxy goodies that we are going to be giving away. Also, we have a special rebate code for the stuff in my store, which is made by me or sourced by me or Cat Daddy approved. Nothing I sell is in any way gratuitous. It's all got my stamp of approval. So go check that out as well with your Summit rebate code. So thank you again. Have fun today. Put some love on your cats and tell them this is from Jackson.